Alright guys, welcome to another tutorial, and in this video, as promised, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to change the width of this thing right here. And you're probably thinking, alright, so that's one property, probably one line of code, why the heck do you need an entire tutorial to teach me this? Well, yes, the method to change the width of this input is indeed one line of code, but this is the problem that we have with that line. The method that we're eventually going to use, called setWidth, it only accepts a pixel value. Now remember, I told you guys that different pixels are different sizes on different devices. For example, you can have a big screen TV and a phone with the same number of pixels. So if we just added a pixel value in there, it's not going to be very uniform. It's going to show up different on everyone's device, and of course we don't want that. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do in this video, let me clean this up a little bit, is essentially take density independent pixels, those DPs or DIPs, and convert them to pixels. So in order to do that, we need to import two more libraries. The first one is import android.content.res. Added a dot there. Resources. Now the next one is import android.util.typed value. And I'll tell you guys exactly why we're importing both of these in a second. But for now, scroll down, and right under your button details, right above you where you add everything to your layout, what we're going to do here is we're essentially going to say, okay, this is how many DIP or density independent pixels. Sometimes I call them device pixels, but they're the same thing. Don't let me confuse you. So we're going to convert those to a pixel value because, again, that setWidth method, it only accepts pixels, but we want to use DP. So the first thing we need to do is call resources and make a variable named R and set this equal to get resources. Now we're going to need this value in a second, but what get resources does is it essentially gets a bunch of information about your app. Now what we are interested in is the piece of information about the display or the screen, and it's a parameter for the next line of code, so if you don't understand this, you will in like 15 seconds. So now what we need to do is we need to essentially convert a DIP value to a pixel value, and this takes one line of code. So I'm going to store the answer in a variable called pixels and set this equal to, first we're going to call a method and we're going to typecast it to an int. So again, whatever we get back, we want to convert it to an integer value because pixels can only be integers, so that's what we're doing. So next we want to use this typed value dot apply dimensions, and add your semicolon right there because this is actually going to take three different parameters, and what this is essentially going to do is this is the method to convert DIP to pixels. So the first parameter that it takes is typed value. Might as well type this out. Why do I always write types? Typed value. Now after this, complex unit DIP. So again, the very first thing we're saying is this is the unit that we're trying to convert. So I know that it looks kind of weird right now, but we are trying to convert DIP, device independent pixels. So the next parameter, of course, it says, okay, how many of those do you want to convert? 200. And the last parameter that it takes, let me give myself a little more space right here, is essentially, okay, that's what you're trying to do. Now I need some information about the screen. So r dot get display metrics is the last parameter. So I know this looks really weird and really stupid, so yeah, let me talk you through it one last time. Actually, let me finish this code and then you guys might see what's going on. So if I write username dot setWidth, again, look at this. This setWidth method, it only accepts an integer value in pixels. So that's the reasoning why we had to typecast it and get pixels from DP. And of course for here we just pass in that value of pixels. So again, this line of code right here, what it does is it takes whatever value in DP or DIP and converts them to pixels, and once we have that pixel value we can pass it in right there. So this value is actually going to change from device to device. However, the size of our display is going to be consistent across every device. So that is pretty sweet. So now let me just go ahead and run this and show you guys what's up. So there you have it. Our little edit text input form is now the same size on every single device. So I know it was kind of confusing, but hey, you're gonna have to pretty much yell at the developers of Android instead of me, because right now that's how you do it. So for now, thank you guys for watching, and in the next tutorial we're going to be moving away from creating user interfaces in Java into something entirely different and actually a lot more interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.